Franks, the winner of the do-over election. Bruce, thanks for joining us here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? And that's not true. That's not true. I'm not too big to come here.
Okay, all right. So you're not snubbing us, in other words.
At all.
Okay, all right, good. So when you're down in Jefferson City and you're causing a ruckus and everything, and we invite you on the show, you will come back into the studio.
I will definitely come back in the studio.
All right, good. Tell us about Friday. Did you have a good thought going into the Friday election?
I was very optimistic about Friday and what the outcome would be. I didn't get complacent, though. We still worked very hard to get the vote out and, just continue to push. But I did not expect 76%, though.
More people voted for you in the do-over election than in the regular election.
Absolutely.
Explain that.
I think I think that's a testament to the people as far as people being excited about change. And we got our people out, and we got more people out. We got I think we turned a few voters as well. That's what exposing the truth. So a lot of people talked about that voter turnout, but I think that 3,000, close to 3,000 people coming out on a special election on a Friday in the thunderstorm speaks volumes to the community.
You think that there are people who voted for Penny Hubbard last time that switched their vote to you this time?
Yes, I do. Actually, I know a couple people who doors we end up knocking on, and they were Hubbard supporters. And after talking and them asking me a series of questions, it seems as if I could possibly turn them around. Do I know for sure? No.
Yeah. Well, there's no question there was, before the election, nobody had really heard of Bruce Franks. It was a small city election in a very small little district. After the voting issues and the absentee arguments, clearly it became a citywide, region-wide story, got more attention, more focus on it, and people were paying a little more attention. And so you could certainly see how your message sort of at least was heard by more people after all the controversy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The coverage on it, I was happy that this issue got the coverage, whether it was me or whether it was another candidate, for them to actually cover the truth and dig deep. I don't think it was, I don't think a bias was shown. I think that basically they went deep into facts, and I was the one willing to talk to all of the media and all the outlets because, I just had nothing to hide, and I wanted to stay transparent about the situation.
Yeah. Bruce, are you going to have a Republican opponent in the fall?
Yes, Eric Shelquist.
Okay, so before you are, before we, crown you the district representative for the area, there still is a general election for you to get through. But let me let me ask you this about the Penny Hubbard world: any backlash, any criticism, any hurt feelings because of what you did to the Hubbard family and the Hubbard machine in the city of St. Louis?
I think maybe I haven't talked to the Hubbards, so I can't really say. I know Lacy Clay is pretty pissed off, but I really don't care.
Have you talked to Lacy Clay or talked to his people?
No, I haven't talked to him. I just letters that he's put out and messages that he's put out, his robocall that he put out for him. Just a bunch of lies and trying to protect his investor interest, but the people saw past that.
Bruce Franks, what do you want to do when and if you get down to Jefferson City? You're going to be in the minority. You're going to be in the super minority. As a Democrat in Jefferson City, it's an endangered species. What can you do to help the people of the 78th District?
Well, I've always been good at working across the board and sitting down and talking and figuring out solutions with those we often don't agree with. As much as I am an activist, I know we have to sit down and try to work together to get to a solution, as long as it's a solution for the people. So working across the board to attack issues like education, like crime prevention from the root cause, like criminal justice reform, And those are the things I want to work hard to, tackle while we're down there, as well as get funding for a lot of these great programs that reduce recidivism that we have in the city of St. Louis.
Bruce Frank's with us for another moment or two. We were talking earlier with Tony Messenger, and your group of voters seems to be sort of Ferguson activists, Ferguson protesters, Bernie Sanders type supporters. There's a little bit of everything in your supporters. I don't know if we can define it. It's more anecdotal than anything. But what are you hearing on the streets from the voters and the people who voted for you and supported you?
It's it's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing smiles. I'm seeing people excited again about having true representation, and really seeing how important the state representative position is, because so many people try to downplay the position. Oh, you're just in Jeff City, you're super minority, it won't work, so on and so forth. But they forget that we still have to come back to St. Louis and truly represent our district. And the people now know they're going to have an engaged and resourceful representative. So the atmosphere has been great. It's been really positive, and everybody's excited about change.
Can you get anything done with having Lacy Clay as not very friendly to you?
Absolutely. They didn't think we would get this. They didn't think we would win the election because Lacy Clay was against us. Lacy Clay wrote a letter to Loretta Lynch asking her to intervene in our race, and that didn't get him too far. So will I sit down with Lacy Clay if he wants to? Absolutely, to try to see what we can do for the people. But if not, I'm okay with not sitting down with him either.
Bruce Frank's with us. One last question. I asked you this last time, and I'll ask you to again because a lot of people have commented on it. You have tattoos. You have eardrop tattoos that you have, and I don't. It's not your signature mark, but it is somewhat prevalent when people see you and are somewhat shocked the first time they see you on television or in the newspaper. Why do you have those teardrop tattoos? They're signified as clown tears. But I have those tattoos because of the movie The Crow. It's my favorite movie. In the movie, Brandon Lee had those tattoos. He was killed and his girlfriend was killed. He came back, avenged her death as kind of like a dark superhero. In 2006, my fiance at the time died in a car accident while we were on the phone together. And, I had already been to 100+ funerals at a young age. So I just decided to get the tattoos when I was in Atlanta, and it signified tears that I don't cry anymore, just by being conditioned to think that a lot of the things we go through are normal. 100 funerals, friends, family members?
Yeah, peers, people my age, people, young men now that I've mentored. I've lost 12 young men that I mentored this year alone. At this point, after Darren Seals, I've been to over 139 funerals, starting when I was 6 years old, when my brother was killed on Gibson. He was 9 years old, used as a human shield. So all too often in our communities, we begin to think that these things are normal because it's the only thing that we see. And one of the biggest reasons I ran for state representative is because I'm not willing to accept the fact that these things are normal, and I want to show the community something different.
Of those 139 funerals, were they drug-related, gang-related, everything in between?
Everything in between. Some I don't even want to call it just or unjust. It's a lot of gun violence, mostly gun violence.
Yeah. Bruce Franks is now the Democratic representative for the 78th district. He still has a general election. Bruce Franks, you're always welcome here. Congratulations on the victory, and we'll talk to you down the line.
Thanks a lot for having me.